Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. So if you guys have no idea what you just read in the title, let me say this. Skylanders Imaginators was supposed to have something of a sequel. It wasn't really a sequel, more like a big add-on to the original game. New levels and new Skylanders alike. Now, there is a lot of evidence that this existed, and the evidence that you can see for it basically proves that this was going to happen, and it was scrapped. And it appears it was scrapped possibly early. The evidence that we have is only about 3 Skylanders inside the Crash Insane Trilogy, so maybe they actually had levels, I'm not sure. But this looks like it was scrapped pretty on into development, and the game looked like it would introduce new battle classes as well. Let me show you. So, 2 out of 3 Skylanders that you can find in the, the evidence that it was going to happen looks like they're new battle classes. None of them appeared in the game though. The skeleton with the hockey mask looks like a smasher, which is in the game. But the rabbit and the person riding the giant wolf are definitely not battle classes that we do see in the final product of Skylanders Imaginators. Now, maybe the big gun was supposed to be like a heavy class that had like stuff, maybe like miniguns and stuff like that. And the other class, all I can say is a rider class. Skylanders that have big animals that you could use to attack. Now, this game, these Skylanders were found inside of the Insane Trilogy. And we all know the Insane Trilogy does use some assets from Imaginators, so let's look at the scrapped Skylanders and how they play, and how the Imaginators in their classes would have worked. But before this all gets started, all this gameplay is coming from ARD. His video will be linked in the description below. So the rabbit's name, well, its demo name is Blaster Tech. Now, this is a prototype name. All Skylanders have prototype names. Basically, probably 1 out of 10 Skylanders actually have their prototype name as their name that eventually becomes their name. So, his name most likely would have not been Blaster Tech. And, this is his design, Big Bunny. So, you can see that he shoots stuff out of his gun, it lands on the ground, and you can suck it back up with an air attack that kind of just explodes after the end of it. And then you can see he actually launches a giant carrot into the air, and it makes, obviously a marker on the ground. But it never actually lands, so I'm guessing that this guy got scrapped pretty early. They never actually made a thing land. So I'm guessing that we can think this was like a heavy, like I said, heavy class where it shoots stuff out. You can shoot stuff up in the air as well, like laying down rockets. Kind of feels more like the bazooka class, but this is obviously a Skylander because this would never be inside of the Insane Trilogy. So this is 100% a Skylander. And yeah, it does sort of a shockwave jump as well. And it honestly looks pretty cool, but they probably scrapped this dude pretty early on. Then we have Bruiser, again, another demo name. He appears to be a smasher, just by first look, but let's see his attacks. So his attacks, he can rush, he can also turn into kind of a ghost. Then you have these attacks where he swings his club against the ground. Now the most interesting one, the file name for this one is Wrangler Fire. You can swing its axe with it. I like how the rider actually jumps off the wolf, that's pretty cool. And you can throw the axe as well. This wolf can also charge. That's pretty awesome. So what does this all mean? Well, it looks like they are going to make another Skylanders game. Well, possibly, more likely, a Skylanders Imaginators. You probably heard about this, Year 2. Now, this is very likely that it wouldn't have been an actual standalone game, but DLC, because this was made in the Insane Trilogy. And at the same time, they were actually making the Insane Trilogy. So we can think that they were probably working, most of the team was working on the Insane Trilogy, but maybe a small amount of Vicarious Visions was actually working on this Skylanders Imaginators too. Because it does seem like there was going to be more stuff added to this game based off of these things. And I'm really sad it actually never came to be, because I think it would have been pretty cool. Now, this probably would have brought us new levels, new creation girls, new senseis. And like I said, very obvious that it was an expansion to the game because they were working on it in the, Insane Trilogy, which Activision only releases 1 kids game a year. They like doing that so make sure it doesn't tank their sales. Obviously, 1 kids game a year and 1 basically Call of Duty game every year. Call of Duty is going to last forever. And this is pretty interesting, I think. I think it's really cool that they were actually going to work on an expansion to at least my favorite game. I know Imaginators is a very polarizing discussion. I know a lot of people don't like the game, but like I said, it's my favorite game. So it is kind of sad to see that this game was gonna get more content. And the thing is, it's kind of weird to think about it, but maybe they had this like thought from the beginning. Because if you guys know, Robo was released in 2017. Like, they could have had this thought from the beginning that we're going to have a year 2 and we're going to release new things. Now, if you guys think about Krakatoa, that leak was like, oh my gosh, it's actually old now. That leak was not true. It's also the Lightcore Barbella. Both of those ended up, not being true. You guys probably heard about them. It was actually pretty big within the Skylanders community back in, I think, 2017 is when that came up. And they were actually pretty darn convincing. I'll throw up a picture of Krakatoa. It looks really good, but they were found on 4chan, so obviously they weren't real. But Skylanders Year 2 was real, and like I said, think that is pretty cool because I really would have liked to see a Skylanders Imaginators 2. We would have gotten, I'm guessing it probably would have been around 5 to 10 more levels. And I'm thinking like at most only like 2 senseis per per element, or like 1 new sensei per element. But it would have been cool because if they kept doing this, they might have just not made any new Skylanders games and just kept updating Skylanders Imaginators, making it a year 1, a year 3, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and the game just keeps getting bigger and bigger instead of just releasing new Skylanders games each year. I don't really know if I would have been a big fan of that, of them releasing a new Skylanders game every year, or just making more stuff for Imaginators. I know people who don't like Imaginators definitely won't like that idea, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this video, that we were going to get a Skylanders Imaginators Year 2, which is, like I said, very interesting to think about. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video learning about what Skylanders Imaginators, the scrapped Skylanders Imaginators sequel, would have been. So anyway guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and thank you guys for watching.